Good evening. So I'm a few miles from Ely visiting a new spot I found on the map. So this is Aldreth Causeway. So there's a little village at the end of a road. It's called Aldreth, and then there is a causeway, which is this kind of path through the woods, which I think leads down to the river, and possibly, according to Google Maps satellite view, there might be a sort of old barn or old house or something at the end of it. I can't really tell. So this is a bit of a first time explore and see what I discover. So it's quite late, it's about an hour before sunset. There's quite a bit of cloud around, but it is broken, so maybe I'll get some nice light, maybe not. We'll find out. But for now I'm going to traipse along here until I get to the river and see if there's any picture opportunities. So I am almost down to the river, I think. Some trees up ahead and some banking, which I'm guessing goes along the river. I'm not sure what else I'll find there. Yeah, definitely a bit of light in the sky. Doesn't come out too well on this camera, but yeah, confident of at least one or two images. But like I say, never having been down here before, I've got no idea whether there'll be any nice compositions. So yeah, it's definitely a bit of an explore. But it's a nice evening. There's not really any wind. Warm enough that I can just have a t-shirt on. So quite pleasant, even if it turns out there are no photos to be had. Now, if you remember, I said I saw on Google Earth that there might have been an old barn or a house or something down here, and there is. It's pretty ramshackle. I'll just spin round so you can see over in the distance there. A bit more ramshackle than it looked from the air, but there's some nice light behind it, so I'm going to stop talking to you and see if I can grab a picture, because there's some sort of dead trees sticking up behind it, which will be silhouetted quite nicely against the bright sky, I believe. The rusty old barn done, or at least for now. I think there's probably more shots there, but I think I'd rather find the river while I've still got some light, and can always come back here another day. It's not too far from home. I think I saw the river from the air as well, so like I say, there's some banking up ahead, which I guess is where it is, and a few trees and some cows. Cows are never a good thing. I'm going to hope they're on the other side of a fence to where I am. I don't trust them. Right, river. So it seems I've got three options here. That there is a bridge, I think, over the river, by the looks of it. Or I can go this way, which I think leads up to the riverbank and the cows. Or I can go that way, which also leads up to the riverbank, and potentially no cows. I think I'm going to go straight on first, and see what view the little bridge thing has. Well, it's all quite tranquil, really. There's the cows in the distance, a nice little view along the river. I may well take a photo of that. There looks to be quite a big bank of cloud on the horizon now, so I'm not sure I'm going to get the best sunset ever. And a fairly nice view down the river in the other direction as well. And through the woods there, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little bench. So it's all quite pleasant. Yeah, time to grab a few shots. So if you were curious, Aldreth Causeway is one of 3 ancient causeways that used to lead to the Isle of Ely before the fens were drained, and apparently it was the site of 1 or 2 battles between Hereward the Wake and William the Conqueror. So there you go. Sunlight is definitely fading behind the cloud now, so a little bit of colour still in the sky, but yeah, I'll probably head home fairly soon. I decided just to walk along the other side of the riverbank, but it turns out I'm actually not by the river. The river's off over there, so yeah, I might skip this one. Go back across the little bridge and walk along the other side, because I think the cows have moved on, so it might be safe. There's some nice trees over there which I think would work well on a misty morning, sort of branches coming out of the reed bed. Yeah, there's definitely a fair bit of potential here for a repeat visit, I think. But anyway, back over the bridge. Yeah, the cows have definitely disappeared. They're off down on the bend there. So yeah, I might take a picture at this spot because it's just sort of on the curve of the river, and I'll keep the 20mm lens on, I think, because the colour in the sky is sort of slightly off to one side, so I'd like to try and include that if I could, and then not include too many of the trees on the other side of the river, because I think that'll make it a bit left heavy as a composition. Anyway, I shall stop yakking and take the picture. Well, the shot with the 20mm didn't really work. The interesting trees were too far away, and the trees on the left hand side were too heavy, so I'll put it up on screen now anyway, just to prove the point. But yeah, I decided to risk the cows and head down to the riverbank because they were quite a long way away, and switched to the 35mm, which I think gives a much more pleasing image. Some nice colour in the sky, interesting trees, bigger in the frame. So yeah, I think that one should come out okay, which I will pop up now. Right, time to head back to the car. I think the light is pretty much gone, and I haven't got my tripod with me anyway. This was something of a recce visit really, but I think it's worth coming back here. I think potentially in the autumn and winter, either with colour on the trees or no leaves on the trees, it could work really well on a sort of misty sunrise, or on a really overcast day in the winter. Probably some monochrome images would also suit it quite nicely. There's a few decent looking trees there, and yeah, it's only 15 minutes from where I live, so not too bad. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the visit to Aldreth Causeway. I saw an informative board back there, so if there were any interesting facts I will have already mentioned them on the voiceover, but I won't promise that because I haven't read it. I took a picture. I don't photographic memory, no. Anyway, right, thank you for watching as ever, and I guess I'll see you next time. If you did enjoy this, feel free to click on subscribe and the little bell to be notified of future videos, and otherwise I shall now continue the less interesting walk along this path back to the car and head home. See you again soon.